Okay, I wrote down a few rules that I follow during when we're running a more defensive strategy in my household. So the first is cut out floating rate debt. We are a household that pays off our credit cards every month. So like this is not a thing for us, but it's a very important thing if you do have floating rate debt. Floating rate debt are when interest rates rise, that means your rate, what you're paying, it goes up too. Culprits are home equity lines of credit, credit cards, business loans, sometimes personal lines of credit. All of those are typically floating rates. So check with your banker. The second thing is don't use credit cards unless you absolutely have to. Again, this is just depending on your situation. I know everybody loves the points, but it's not worth it if you can't pay it off. So just use cash. Let's see, take a look at what matters most. So this is, at the Wealth Edit, we call this financial minimalism. So like really getting to the core of why do you spend and what are you spending your money on? Typically people's sort of fun categories are eating out, travel, and clothing. So which of those categories do you like the least? Like cut it out for a period of time. You're really not gonna miss it. Take a look at travel. Travel is the dirty culprit as far as just wrecking your finances because everything counts. Like if you have kids and you have to go to soccer tournaments for the weekend, it counts. If you go on little girls trips overnight, it counts. All this stuff counts. So sometimes people think vacations as like if you're going to Switzerland and skiing. Well, it also counts if you do overnights or like 2-day trips. Just reduce those if you can, since we're in like a defensive position. Let's say reduced fixed costs where possible. So like, let's say that you have someone that helps, clean your house every 2 weeks. Like, could you go a month? Things like that. I mean, you know what it is in your life. If you have 4, subscriptions like Netflix, can you cut some of those out? Those things, when you can cut fixed costs, that can also really be meaningful. Pressure test your finances. So we talked about this in the last video, but like, what would happen if I lost my job? Like, how long could I actually go and what would I need to do? Because anything can happen when the world shrinks. So you just need to be sort of prepared for that. And then we actually have a chapter on that in our guidebook, and then beef up your emergency fund. Actually, these savings accounts are paying more than they have in a really long time. So it's not a bad place to just park some cash.